NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, was established in 1958 by the US President Dwight D. Eisenhower, and it's since grown into the largest, most advanced space agency on the planet. They do things like study Earth from space and research the many mysteries of the solar system, and if anyone's going to discover that we are not alone in this universe, it's them. So what evidence have they found to support life in space? Well, there is a lot, such as reports, sightings and events, and also some physical footage, which is what we're going to talk about. Here are 5 NASA videos and images that have been caught over the years that even they themselves haven't been able to explain. Have an open mind, sit back and enjoy. July the 26th, 2005 was an important day for NASA. It was the day they launched the STS114 Discovery space shuttle, which became the first return flight mission since the Columbia disaster STS107 that took place 2 years previously. The crew were in space for nearly a month, and their mission was documented using a system of new and upgraded ground-based radar systems, along with state-of-the-art airborne cameras. The main purpose of the trip was to carry out a variety of tests and repair techniques, as well as transfer equipment and supplies to and from the International Space Station. But while up there, the STS-114's external camera caught what appears at first to be a piece of space debris, which is not unusual, although it is rather large. But then the object begins to change course in a manner of which does not seem natural. Take a look. At the time of the recording, Discovery was flying northwesterly between Hawaii and California, and despite questioning, NASA have given no explanation. Some say it could be a piece of ice that was moved off course by the space shuttle's thrusters. However, if this was the case, you would think it would have been more abrupt and not as smooth as it was. What many point out, and this is with a lot of NASA videos, is that once the unidentified object is seen on camera, the footage cuts and a full version cannot be found anywhere. So what's your thoughts on this one? Something completely innocent or something NASA know about but are not letting out? Alien home. Now this one is a little far-fetched but still worth a mention. To explain the relevance of the image, we need to go back to October the 19th, 2003, when a man called Oscar Munoz was searching for objects of historical value in a Chilean ghost town in the Atacama Desert. While digging near an abandoned church, he uncovered a tiny mummified body wrapped in a white cloth. The remains were around 15 centimeters long and looked similar to a tiny deformed man, although unlike a human, it was scaly and dark coloured and had 9 ribs and an odd-shaped head. After examination, it was concluded that the skeleton was a mutation of a male human that possibly lived between 6 and 8 years, and it became known as the Atacama alien. Fast forward to 2016 and this photograph was released. It was taken on Mars by NASA's Curiosity rover and appears to show a tiny figure by the side of a rock. This discovery has led many to speculate that the Atacama alien has some sort of link to this bizarre image, and wasn't in fact a deformed human but came from space. Another claim was made a few months later when a strange looking rock photo was released by NASA. This one was again taken on Mars and appears to show a tiny doorway in a rock. Conspiracy theorists went crazy, saying that it was the home of this tiny creature that was apparently captured on Mars a few months previously. That does sound crazy, but the first photo is weird. I'm not saying there is life on Mars, but that's either a case of pareidolia, which is when your brain tricks you into seeing things like faces and bodies on items, or it's a Mars alien. Now it's highly unlikely, but I would love to think that there is or has been life on Mars, but what do you think? STS-115. The STS-115 was flown by Space Shuttle Atlantis and launched on September the 9th, 2006. Despite several attempts due to weather and technical issues, the launch was a success and the shuttle carried out various duties on the International Space Station and returned to Earth a few weeks later. Shortly after, NASA released details of the mission along with camera footage and images, and one in particular got people talking. It was taken on a digital still camera by astronaut Daniel Burbank, and NASA have never given an explanation for it. Even on their website it says, unidentified possible small debris. A few people have said that it could be an image blur, where Daniel has taken a picture of a star using a long shutter speed, and the movement of the spacecraft has caused it to look like that. But you would think that NASA would at least say this on their website. It's as if they want to get us talking and speculating about what's up there. To date, no one really knows what the image is, and with NASA not giving an explanation, it's a genuine, unidentified flying object that was photographed in space. Now, does this mean it's of alien origin or some kind of space jellyfish like some have suggested? Definitely not, but it sure is cool and interesting to discuss what it could be. What's your thoughts? Now, this next piece of footage is very new and has had the conspiracy theorists talking since it happened. It took place on the 9th of July 2016 during a live feed to the International Space Station, when an unidentified object was seen dropping to Earth by those watching, but then NASA cut the video feed almost immediately after. Unfortunately, the video is not good quality, but it's the best I could find. Take a look. Now, this isn't the first time this has happened, and it's suggested this time it could have been a meteor or even the missing Chinese space cargo ship, Tiangong-1, which the Chinese have actually lost contact with and are worried it could re-enter Earth's atmosphere. So why did NASA cut the feed? Maybe they didn't want everyone seeing this object, which is still unidentified. Last year a similar thing happened and NASA gave this statement. NASA never intentionally shut down live transmissions to hide UFOs. Loss of video is usually due to loss of signals from the ISS. That's perfectly reasonable, but it's also strange how this has happened many times as soon as something mysterious is seen. What's your thoughts? A coincidence, or are they trying to hide something? STS-48. This next piece of footage is the oldest video in this list and has been causing controversy and speculation for years. It was captured by NASA in 1991 during the STS-48 mission that was launched from the Kennedy Space Station on September the 12th with a crew of 5 astronauts. Its mission was to conduct experiments and deploy a number of satellites, and after completing 81 orbits of Earth, it returned home a few days later. When it returned, a piece of footage was released that was captured 3 days into the mission that shows multiple bright UFOs darting around, in what looks like an intelligently controlled manner, abruptly changing direction and racing off at great speed. NASA was immediately questioned and explained the anomalies as ice particles that were disrupted by the shuttle's thrusters, but many respected scientists disagree, and it's been suggested they could well have been extraterrestrial crafts. As always, there are other theories, including ice particles on the camera lens, meteors, space junk, or satellites, although most of these theories have been rejected by experts who say that it's difficult to dismiss the possibility that they could be of alien origin because of the way they are moving. After all, there are many top-ranking scientists who say there is a ton of evidence suggesting that we are and have been visited for a number of years by extraterrestrial life. So does this footage confirm their theories, and have aliens been flying around Earth checking on us or even communicating? What do you think? So there's 5 pieces of NASA footage that has raised some serious questions after being released. Now this is in no way to shame NASA. They are an incredible company and are doing fantastic things, but we all know they know stuff that they are not letting out to the public. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Keep an open mind and never underestimate the wonders of the universe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week for another one.